Hi, I'm Paul Millen from the New Zealand Dryland Forests Initiative. I'm here at the Avery property, standing in our breeding population of Eucalyptus globoidea that was planted in 2011, and I'm going to tell you a bit about why we've invested in the species in our breeding program. Eucalyptus globoidea is, of all of our species, most known in New Zealand. It has already been extensively planted, not in large areas, but it certainly has been planted throughout many regions of the North Island and even occurs well down into the South Island. And so when the NZDFI were seeking species for a breeding program, it was selected as a species that had well proven adaptability in New Zealand, as well as it had been noted by our science team as having a very wide genetic diversity, and that's shown in its occurrence in Australia, where it can occur from north of Sydney right up in northern New South Wales, along that southeastern side of Australia down into Victoria and into the areas of Gippsland. We made collections of seed for our breeding program, and from both wild populations in Australia as well as from some very well developed mature stands of globoidea growing here in New Zealand. Based on the earlier plantings throughout New Zealand and the many trials that we have established, this species has proven the most versatile across a large range of New Zealand environments. Here at the Avery site, it is at the extreme in terms of its drought tolerance, and that's one of the key traits that we are breeding for, and hence the reason that we do have this breeding population on such a dry site. It has been remarkable, even on this site, at how well some of the families have been grown, so we have a lot of confidence about its ability to handle drought on other parts of New Zealand. Eucalyptus globoidea has the adaptability to grow both in these dryland sites, as well as we're seeing excellent performance and productivity where we have higher rainfall and warmer temperatures. For example, in sites in Gisborne, in the Bay of Plenty, and more recently in Northland, productivity probably exceeds 200% of the productivity that we are measuring on this site. And it's in those warmer, wetter environments that the most opportunity exists for growers to be able to exploit this species. Eucalyptus globoidea produces a Class 2 hardwood. The timber is a yellow-brown, and it generally produces high percentages of heartwood, and that heartwood, from soaring studies completed by Scion and also by the NZDFI, has shown that by and large it produces a timber that's very suitable for outdoor uses, particularly above ground, the likes of decking, and we have seen acceptable performance of in-ground use for vineyard posts. As a part of the NZDFI's wood quality research, we have been investigating how to select for improving the wood properties of the species, both by selecting early heartwood development as well as heartwood which has higher durability based on the extractive contents, and improving the potential for drying and seasoning through reducing collapse. Eucalyptus globoidea's performance across a wide range of sites and environments in New Zealand is shown in the good health of the crown. Generally, on most sites, it's resistant or tolerant of any insects that may be present. It's able to grow in a wide range of soil types. Sites that do limit this species are where it is particularly dry. Here, as I've said, we're on an extremely dry site for New Zealand conditions, and having seen the performance of other species here, it's not as adapted to growing here as others may be, but for large parts of New Zealand, and particularly in the North Island, where you've got rainfall of 800 millimetres per annum or 1,000 millimetres per annum or higher, the species is where you'll get excellent survival and growth. One other critical aspect of the environment, though, is it isn't tolerant of very heavy wet soils and of what I call medium frosts, so frosts that exceed -4, -5 degrees, and particularly early spring frosts. If you're following planting, that can lead to losses of newly planted trees. Overall, Eucalyptus globoidea is one of the most promising species the NZDFI are promoting for wider planting throughout New Zealand to establish a future sustainable, durable hardwood industry.